Imagine this, somewhere on Earth, right at this very moment, someone is uncapping a tube of toothpaste, squeezing that perfect ribbon of minty freshness onto their toothbrush, and starting their day. Multiply that image billions of times, and you get an astonishing picture every single year. Humanity consumes roughly 4.2 million tons of toothpaste. That's the equivalent of 42 billion individual tubes. Enough to stretch around the planet dozens of times if you lined them up. And it's a number that's still climbing as the world grows more health conscious and as oral hygiene becomes a universal daily habit. But this raises a fascinating question. How do manufacturers keep up with this massive, ever-growing demand? How does a company like Colgate, one of the most recognizable names on bathroom shelves worldwide, produce enough toothpaste to keep billions of smiles healthy and bright? And perhaps, an even more intriguing mystery, how do they take something as unyielding as rock and turn it into the smooth, creamy, mint-flavored paste we all know? And yes, what's the secret behind those satisfying stripes we see when we squeeze the tube? Today, we're stepping behind the scenes into the mesmerizing world of toothpaste production to discover the science, engineering, and innovation that make this everyday product possible. Toothpaste, simple as it may seem, is a technological marvel hiding in plain sight. At its heart, it's made up of abrasives, yes, tiny particles that act almost like microscopic scrub brushes to remove plaque and polish teeth until they gleam. But toothpaste is so much more than just a cleaning agent. For many of us, brushing is the very first ritual of the day. It's that refreshing, tingly, wake-up call that tells our brains, okay, we're ready to face the world. Imagine trying to start your morning without it. Your mouth would feel heavy, your breath stale, your confidence just a little lower. Toothpaste doesn't just clean teeth, it fights cavities, strengthens enamel, protects gums, and leaves behind that iconic minty burst that has become synonymous with freshness. In other words, toothpaste isn't just a product, it's a small but powerful tool that shapes how we present ourselves to the world. Colgate, the company behind one of the most popular toothpaste brands, has a history that spans more than 2 centuries. Its story begins in 1806, when William Colgate, a determined British immigrant, founded William Colgate and Company in New York City. Back then, the business focused on producing soap, candles, and starch, essential goods for households of the time. By 1873, the company took its first step into oral care, introducing toothpaste that was packaged not in the iconic tube we know today, but in glass jars. Imagine dipping a toothbrush into a jar every morning. That all changed in 1896, when Colgate pioneered the idea of selling toothpaste in collapsible tubes, a breakthrough that revolutionized personal hygiene. Suddenly, toothpaste became portable, hygienic, and easy to dispense, and people loved it. Fast forward to today, and Colgate products are available in over 230 countries, making it the world's #1 oral care brand. Their mission goes beyond just selling toothpaste. It's about advancing oral health globally, providing innovative solutions for millions of people, and making sure a healthy smile is never out of reach. Now, let's step inside the factory, specifically one of Colgate's high-tech manufacturing plants, located just outside London. Here, the production of toothpaste is a fascinating ballet of chemistry and engineering, running almost around the clock to meet global demand. The scale of this operation is mind-boggling. This single facility can produce up to 1 million tubes of toothpaste every single day. Think about that, every 24 hours, enough toothpaste is made here to supply an entire country. It all starts with an ingredient that might surprise you. Rock. Yes, one of the key components of toothpaste is finely ground rock or silica, which gives the paste its gentle scrubbing power. These abrasives are what make your teeth feel smooth after brushing. Trucks loaded with raw materials sourced from all corners of the globe arrive at the factory daily. Each ingredient is carefully catalogued, tested, and stored in massive silos or containers under controlled conditions to maintain quality. This facility is a hub of precision and logistics, ensuring that every single tube, whether shipped to London, Lagos, or Los Angeles, has the same perfect consistency and taste. The first step of production is blending the raw materials. Water, drawn from a dedicated well system that plunges 120 meters into the earth, serves as the main solvent. But this isn't just any water. it undergoes an intensive filtration process to remove every trace of dissolved salts and impurities, leaving behind crystal clear water that meets strict quality standards. This purified water is then used to dissolve and mix the ingredients, forming the base of the toothpaste. Into this base go abrasives like silica, humectants like sorbitol to keep the paste from drying out, binding agents like xanthan gum to give it structure, and surfactants to make it foam and spread evenly in your mouth. Add to that preservatives for shelf life, flavoring agents for taste, and sometimes therapeutic ingredients like fluoride to strengthen enamel and prevent cavities. Each of these components plays a role in creating the toothpaste we rely on daily. Inside the plant, enormous stainless steel reaction tanks, polished to a medical-grade shine, stand ready to mix these ingredients with surgical precision. Technicians and engineers program every detail into automated systems: temperature, pressure, mixing speed, and timing. This level of automation ensures that human error is virtually eliminated, allowing for consistency batch after batch. Once the ingredients are loaded, massive agitator blades start spinning, churning the mixture at speeds of up to 2,500 revolutions per minute, the industrial equivalent of whipping cream. Except here the stakes are much higher. The goal is to achieve a perfectly smooth, uniform paste without overmixing or trapping too much air. Heating is an important part of this process. But unlike what you might expect, the mixture is never boiled. Instead, steam is used to gently heat the blend at specific stages, while chilled water systems maintain an optimal temperature range between 44 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit during cooling phases. This careful control ensures the final product has the ideal consistency, viscosity, and even aroma. When you open a fresh tube of toothpaste and smell that burst of mint, you're experiencing the result of countless hours of testing and fine-tuning. Once the mixture reaches the right texture, it undergoes homogenization, a fancy term for blending the ingredients even more thoroughly to make sure everything is perfectly smooth and evenly distributed. At this stage, the paste looks a bit like cake frosting, creamy and glossy. Specialized tools scrape down the sides of the tanks to make sure nothing is wasted. The next step is one of the most crucial: degassing. Using powerful vacuum systems, technicians remove all the tiny air bubbles trapped in the paste. This might seem like a small detail, but it's actually critical. Air bubbles can promote microbial growth and affect the shelf life of the product. Plus, they make the texture uneven. Removing air ensures that when you squeeze the tube at home, the paste comes out in one smooth, continuous ribbon, exactly the way it should. At this point, samples of the toothpaste are sent to an on-site laboratory, where teams of scientists test them for consistency, flavor, pH balance, and chemical composition. Only once the batch passes all these quality checks is it pumped into buffer tanks, essentially giant holding tanks that keep the paste ready for the next phase of production: packaging. This is where one of the most iconic features of toothpaste comes into play: the stripes. Whether it's Colgate's classic red, blue, and white, or another variety, those stripes aren't just for show. They're part of what makes the product instantly recognizable. But creating them isn't easy. The factory uses a sophisticated distribution system that separates the white base paste from the colored paste until the very last moment. The colored portion, which is purely cosmetic and doesn't contain active ingredients, is injected alongside the base paste as the tube is filled. Thanks to the toothpaste's natural viscosity, the colors stay perfectly separate without blending into a messy swirl. The filling process itself is a technological wonder. Empty tubes are placed on the production line, flipped upside down, and lined up like soldiers on a conveyor belt. High-speed filling nozzles pump toothpaste into them at a rate of up to 180 tubes per minute, with each tube containing exactly 100 grams of product. Once filled, robotic arms flip the tubes back into their correct orientation, and the open ends are sealed tight using heat. Each tube is then labeled with the brand design, expiration date, and batch number before traveling further down the line for inspection. Random tubes are pulled for yet another round of quality testing to ensure that nothing leaves the factory unless it's perfect. Finally, the tubes are grouped into sets of 15, packed into boxes, and weighed. Any box that doesn't meet the exact standard weight is rejected, no exceptions. The approved boxes are sealed, stacked onto pallets, and loaded onto trucks, ready to be shipped to stores around the world. From there, they make their way to your local supermarket, pharmacy, or corner store, waiting to be picked up by you and millions of other people who will use them to start and end their days with a cleaner, fresher smile. So the next time you grab your toothbrush, pause for a moment and think about the incredible journey that tiny ribbon of paste has taken from raw minerals pulled from the earth, through precise scientific blending, through tanks and pumps and quality tests, until it finally reaches your bathroom sink. Toothpaste may seem ordinary, but it represents an extraordinary achievement of science, engineering, and human ingenuity working together to keep billions of teeth healthy. And if you loved this behind-the-scenes look at how toothpaste is made, imagine what other everyday products hide equally fascinating secrets. Be sure to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe so you never miss another deep dive into the hidden world of manufacturing. The story of how ordinary things are made is a story worth telling, and we'll be here to keep telling it. See you in the next one.